All right, so my next video, this video here is going to be about the awakening and what it really is like. I feel like everyone talks about going through the dark night of the soul or going through some type of awakening, but don't really talk about the negative parts or the dark parts that you go through when you are having said awakening and kind of coming back into yourself in order to elevate and grow. So that is what I will be covering today. I kind of summarized the process in kind of like different steps, like summarize it into like 6 different steps so that you can kind of gauge whether or not you're going through it, what phase you're in right now. I don't think it has to be in a specific order, but this is just like from my perspective and what I've been going through. The past few times that I've went through it myself, this is kind of like how it started each and every time. So this is kind of just a guide to go by. So it will kind of look like the first thing is you start feeling like it's time for something new, might be a little bit more anxious than normal. Then everything in your life will start falling apart. Career, family, money, finances, everything it'll just feel like everything's just going to shit. The third phase is feeling lost. You have no sense of direction. You're kind of just like floating in this abyss. You don't really know what's next. The next thing is kind of feeling unworthy, tired of going through stuff, kind of planning an exit or having suicidal ideations because of that. This is typically this is where the ego death occurs. The 5th step is things slowly getting better, receiving everything that you feel like has been taken from you or everything that was broken down. They're starting that rebuilding process. And then the 6th thing is coming out on the other side victorious with more wisdom. So those are the phases, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So first, what is the awakening? To me, this is usually when your body, mind, and spirit get off of autopilot. So you're actually coming back into your body instead of just going through the motions of life. A lot of people just wake up, eat breakfast, go to work, come back home, interact with the kids, the husband, wife, go to sleep and do it again. Like they're on autopilot, like there's nothing there. So I feel like when you start to come back into your body, you kind of realize where you are in life and you're just like, this is not what I came down here for. I don't love this. I don't like this. This doesn't feel right. I need something new. I'm tired. Like you literally just wake up like fed up with everything. And that's the best way to explain it. It's like you're no longer, going through the emotions. You kind of are more aware of people's behaviors. Just stuff just starts to click. And this is accompanied by you starting to question everything in your life. Like, why am I here? Why did I stop my dreams? Why did I stop dreaming? Why did I stop fighting for my life? Like living and, just different things like that. So yeah, as I stated before, those are, the little things that I feel like are, that's what an awakening is to me. It's kind of you just getting back into your body and your spirit is kind of getting back in control versus your flesh being in control and just being on autopilot, not really being aware of your body and things that are happening to you during this time. So I gave you the 6 steps that I'm going to be covering. So I'm going to go back over that in detail. So starting with the first step, which is questioning all things and needing a change. Now, this is the beginning. Again, you'll start to feel anxious and feeling like you're stuck, like you need to move from this situation or else you're just like not going to make it. It's going to feel like you're going to combust if you don't move. And needing to move as in you might need a new job or you want out of the relationship. This is kind of how it starts, but this is you coming back into your body. This is you just being aware of, oh shit, this is not where I want to be in life. How did I get here? How do I get out of here? Type of thing. So an example I'll give is me being on autopilot when I was gone for a year and I just worked 2 jobs, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, didn't have off days unless I requested it off in advance. I didn't really have time to go out with my friends. I didn't really have time to date. I didn't have time to do anything other than make money. So, with me being on autopilot for a year, I was dealing with 2 different sets of managers, employees. My part-time job, was really messy. So I was just dealing with a lot of stuff there. But during this time, I wasn't going out. I was barely praying, no breath work, meditation, nothing. So when I came back into my body earlier, like a couple months ago, I was frustrated. I felt stuck. I was like, I'm literally going to end up fighting somebody if I don't stop this, like now. Like I had to stop it altogether. Like everybody was getting on my nerves. Everybody and everything. Somebody would breathe in my direction and that would just be it. I was so frustrated. I was just like so over it. And that is how you know it's time. That's usually like the first step. Like everything irritates you, you're frustrated, you're angry because you're not where you want to be. So it might look like you taking it out on somebody else. Of course, that's unfortunate because that's not really what you want. And it's not really their fault that you're going through this. So you do have to be mindful of that. So I had to act fast because I was in a situation where I can't mess this money up. I have everything set up to move and be the way it is for a reason, and I can't afford to mess this up, right? So that's when I had to take 7 weeks off of work. Like I just mentally, I was just like, I can't do this. It really feels like I am going crazy between my job and then things going on in my personal life. At the time, a couple months ago, before that, one of my best friends had just passed away. I had stuff going on at home, at home with my mom. I had stuff going on here. So it was just a lot. It was a lot all at one time. And I was just like, I cannot, I opt out. I'm done. I took a 7-week leave. So yeah, that brings me to my next point, which is number 2. The second thing, everything after that initial, oh my God, what's going on? Why am I here? What is this? Everything starts falling apart. Like once you get the initial feeling that I need to move, it's getting time for me to do something different because I'm tired of this, everything falls apart. Like, like literally everything. Your job might start tripping on you, kids acting up, you might start fighting with your friends, losing money. You'll figure out that family is fake. Relationships might end. Everything happens all at once. But it's meant to break you down so that you have a clean slate. So you're able to rebuild, right? God needs you isolated so that you can listen to the messages from them and understand that this is for your highest good. It's necessary to embrace this part because this is where you're able to observe people's energy and document patterns so you don't play out the same patterns again. And it's going to be hard because it's going to be really frustrating. You're going to be looking for somewhere or someone to turn to. I'm going to have to call her back in a second. You're going to be looking for someone to turn to, and it's going to feel like nobody's there. It's going to feel like everybody's turning on you. But it's really important to sit in this a little bit because this is also where the wisdom comes in. Like in these situations, how you move right now is teaching you how to be a person that navigates the lows of life. That's really important during this time. So I know it's going to be hard, but it's really important to just sit in this for a minute. and, you know, just be able to be still. That's really important. Just being able to be still. Okay, so moving on to step 3. After this, usually you start experiencing a feeling of being lost. You don't really know what's next for you or what you need to do. And literally, as I just stated, you just need to be still and do nothing. And I know it's easier said than done, but you just need to allow the rearrangement to happen in your life. This process is really uncomfortable, but it's really important for you to trust the process. And trust me, I know how uncomfortable it is because I literally just went through it. I was trying to figure out what my purpose was, you know, why I always feel myself getting caught up in situations where I exert more energy than I get back, not being paid my worth at work, overworking myself, people pleasing, and just feeling unfulfilled in my life and what I was called to do. And I'll give you an example again. You know, my part-time job being really messy and unorganized, but needing that job because it's funding my education in order for me to get in a better situation, right? And I feel like it wasn't really paying off as quickly as I wanted it to, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? And usually situations like this awakening, this elevation happens right before you're about to get to that next step. So this is also a sign that you are about to have a breakthrough coming as well. But, you know, again, with my part-time job, there's that. And then my main job, you know, they're going through a restructuring, switching roles, which didn't come with extra pay. And then also while I was on my leave, you know, I went with doing the paid leave. And then as soon as I went on my trip, like right before I was supposed to return back to work, a couple weeks before I was supposed to return back to work, they decided my paperwork wasn't good enough and they weren't going to pay me. So I was out in West Coast, like as soon as I landed, waiting on my check didn't come. They were like, oh, well, you know, you can appeal it, but we need these documents, we need all of this, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, you know, they decided not to pay me while I was out there. I fought with a person that I thought was a friend of mine. They weren't. Ran out of gas when I was driving on the highway in my rental. And then also my rental car needed an oil change. Like, it was just like a lot happening while I was out there. And I was just like, okay, can we calm down, please? Can we relax? Because I'm already going through enough, you know, like it's already enough. So I just was trying to figure out how much more. So when I say I get it, I get it. But still, while I was out there, I still enjoyed myself because I was like, you know what? I more than likely will not be able to make this trip again. This is just my mindset at the time. I was just like, I might not be able to take another trip ever. Like, so I'm going to make the best of this. I really don't care what happens. I had just enough in my savings. I transferred everything over, and then I had credit cards, of course. Of course, nobody wants to run them up though, because I mean, I'm over here trying to save money and get out of survival mode, not put myself deeper in the hole. So that was like really pissing me off. But I was just like, I'm gonna enjoy myself anyway. Because one of the advice or quotes that stick with me is, you know, you don't want to worry about things as they happen or before they happen, because you're going to put yourself through it twice. So I was just like, you know what? Things are probably going to end up working out anyway. So I'm not even going to worry about this right now. I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm going to be happy. And that's what I did. I didn't let anything put a damper on my experience. I met people. I was still outgoing. I didn't tell anybody about what I had going on because I didn't care. It was minuscule at that point. I didn't care. I was like, no, this doesn't exist. I was in Delulu land. I was like, I will deal with this when I get back on the South Side. But right now I'm on the West Coast and I'm gonna act like I'm on the West Coast and I'm a rich bitch because that's what I am. So all that other stuff didn't matter. Didn't care. And it showed. I really enjoyed myself. I really did. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, just giving an example of, just not knowing what's going to be waiting for you on the other side. So I had all this stuff going on, and I didn't know whether it was going to work out or not. I was just like not dealing with it. I just opted out. I was like, I opt out of the group chat. Like, I didn't want no notifications. I didn't care. I was just like, nope, whatever. Right? So from there, you kind of get to this other stage. It kind of teeters back and forth between 3 and 4. And this is that it does get to you sometimes. It's easy to just be like, you know what? I block it out. I see it. I don't see it. I don't hear it. Nothing. Right? But sometimes you'll be fine, and then other times you will not be. Like, you'll start thinking about everything that you've been through and how you're so tired of fighting and going through the same things, and how you wanted to just stop. You just wanted to end. So this is usually where the suicidal ideations come in. You have thoughts about ending it, and this is your ego dying. Like, this is the part of yourself that had this life mapped out, right? And this life is no longer suiting you, so it has to die. The old ways of thinking has to die. The old goals that you had has to die. And in order to eradicate that, it has to be in a way that makes you feel like it's no longer possible, so you can get shifted into a new direction. And going back to the first stage, remember in the beginning, you said that you wanted a change. You said that you needed something different. You started feeling stuck. You started feeling like your circumstances were too small for your spirit to roam and be and feel, right? In order for you to grow, you need to let go of what is, like, you have to let go of what is in order for you to go into something that can be, in the future, that has potential. You got to let it go. So it has to die. You start feeling also unworthy, and that you're a failure, and that it won't get better, and that it's always something. But I'm here to tell you to ignore this. Ignore it. It does get better, and it will get better. This is the step that is the hardest, though. You have to do your best to breathe through it. Seek resources, go to counseling, get a psychiatrist, use benefits. If you need to just do DoorDash, just drive around for a little bit and get benefits from them, just to see if, like, different mental health resources. Just speak to somebody about what you're feeling. If that is not an option, you can write out your notes and your dark thoughts. During this process, I also, experienced suicidal ideations. I spoke with my counselor several times about it, my psychologist. I even wrote out notes. Like, I had and have a lot of goodbye letters. And I think the only reason I'm here today is because I know that I have a bigger purpose. I'm gonna be real transparent with y'all right now. My 25th birthday, and the reason why I planned this trip anyway, is because it's bigger than just 25. Because when I was 15, I actually attempted suicide. I had sleeping pills because I wasn't sleeping. Like, there would be times I would just be up 24 hours. I didn't know why. I just could not sleep. So, I got sleeping pills, like, over the counter, and I was just, like, so fed up with life, and I just didn't want to do it anymore, that I was just, like, it got to the point where I was just, like, praying to God not to wake me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just, like, over it. And I took a whole bottle of sleeping pills. And the next morning, it was time for me to go to school, and my mom was, like, trying to wake me up. And it took her, like, 30 minutes. Like, she was, like, shaking me. And she couldn't wake me up. And I know y'all seen that light flicker. But she could not wake me up. And she was scared. She was like, when I finally did come to, she was like, I think you were in, like, a deep sleep or something. You overslept. I gotta take you to school now. But like her eyes were like a little teary-eyed because she was getting worried. Like everybody in the house was up. They was like, okay, she's not waking up. We're gonna have to call somebody, blah, blah, blah. But I woke up and I remember being so upset. Like I was so angry. I was like, what the fuck? Like there's no way I'm supposed to be here right now. And it's really true. Like 15 years old, like 120, 130 pounds. Like there's no way I was supposed to survive that. Like there's like at least like 30 to 60 capsules. I don't even remember how many it was. I just remember taking the whole thing and I was just like, fuck it. Like, so there's no way in hell I was supposed to be here. But I am, and I feel like I am because my purpose is greater and it's just not time for me to go yet. So it took me, 10 years to get to this point where I can understand exactly what was happening and why. But your purpose here on this earth is greater than what you could ever imagine. Your purpose is to transmute your pain into a purpose. Your pain is not in vain at all. There's a reason for it, whether that be to speak your perspective, tell your story, or help others so that they don't have to go through the same things that you go through, or share your wisdom. Whatever it is that is meant for you to do with that, that's what you're supposed to do. But you have to be strong enough to get through it. There's no way around it. There's no way under it. You have to get through it in order to make it to the other side to tell your story. So that's why I say that, there's a reason for it, and just hang in there because it does get better. Which brings me to the fifth point, which is the fifth step and stage throughout this whole awakening and elevation, is things slowly getting better. So an example, with my situation, everything worked out. I came back from my trip. For a minute, I had stopped job searching because at this point I had been job searching from February to about the end of August and September, and all I was getting was just declinations, no's. We're going with other candidates, or just like failed attempts at interviews. They would interview me, not call me back, or I would get recruiters that call out, get all my information and say, oh, I'm going to send your resume to, to this person. And I don't hear anything back. And I'm just like, okay, this is a waste of time. So I just got tired of that, stopped doing that. But I guess from all of those, mass applications I was putting out, somebody wanted to book a interview with me, or schedule an interview with me. And I was just like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not going to get it anyway. It doesn't matter. Like I wasted all this time. Like it doesn't matter. And I went to the interview. I took a test. Like they tested my skills with my accounting and stuff. I passed the test, and then after 2 weeks, they extended a job offer to me, which is way more money than I'm making now. I do have to relocate, which is also good news. But, I kind of was feeling like I needed to get out of Georgia anyway. It was time. And then also I'm going to be moving, on my own. I'm going to have my own place. So, stuff like that. And then also, while I was out there, when I was talking about the stuff that I was going through, like we was on the highway and the car was messing up. With the gas light being on, I promise you, I kid you not, I was going to stop on the side of the road, and my friend was like, no, don't stop. We just have to keep driving. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, I'm not about to keep driving this car and the gas light is on, and the next gas station is not for another 30 minutes up the road. We're not going to make it. It's pitch black outside. I'm not about to be on the side of the road. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to call them. I'm going to check it up. Like, it's going to be like $400 for somebody to come out here. I can't afford it, but I'm not about to be stuck out. And do you know that gas light took us all the way to that, like 30 minutes to the gas station? Because we didn't stop. We kept going. And then on top of that, when I got back, HR ruled in my favor for the appeal. So now they have to back pay me all the money that they didn't pay me while I was out there. So then from there, I also got to see who my real friends were. Um, and with that whole situation, now that I got into step 5 of things kind of coming together because I didn't lose faith in step 3 and 4, the whole theme is to keep going. The advice given that rings in my head all the time is from Steve Harvey. I think he was like telling a story or something, and he was saying that when you're driving on the road and it's raining really hard and it's storming, you see cars pulled over on the side of the road to wait the storm out. And you're not supposed to do that because you could literally be in the eye of the storm. You don't know if that storm gonna stay there for an hour, 2 hours, a day, a week. So you're just gonna be sitting in the middle of the storm longer than anticipated if you had just keep moving forward. Drive through the storm and don't stop until you get to the other side. So just keep going is the point. So 6th and final step, you coming out victorious on the other side, you come out more wise and you come out more blessed. You'll have several of these ego deaths and elevations throughout your life because the ego has to die in layers. So there's different layers. Most of them have come from other people, things that were placed onto you as a child, maybe religion, just like things forced on you that weren't yours. There's parts of you that have come from other people. So you'll have just several of these throughout your life, and it's needed to expel and purge. But every single time that you go through this, you'll always come out victorious. You'll always come out with another nugget of wisdom, something that you can apply moving forward so that the same things don't happen, and you'll be more aware. Now, as you go through more of them, they don't have to be as drastic, but they will be things that will command your attention. So just keep that in mind. But the more wisdom that you gain, you can apply to life. And you won't really have as many or as drastic ego deaths or elevations spiritually in life. So, during this time, you would just have to breathe, meditate, stay in your body, and just don't let your flesh, which are those low vibrational or negative, I don't like to say negative, but low vibrational thoughts, take over the spirit. Just don't listen to the fact that, oh, you're always going to fail, or this is always going to be this way, or it's always going to be something. But the truth is, life is going to life forever. So as high or as low as it goes, you will have an equal opposite high. So the lower you go, the more lives, the more blessings are waiting for you on the other side. So you just have to get through this low point in life for you to get to the high point in life. You won't get a chance to enjoy those high points in life until you have gotten to the lowest point, until you have gotten to the rawest version of yourself. You're not going to know yourself. You're not going to know what you want. And you're going to continue to allow other people to map out and, make decisions for you, versus if you no, I know myself from the inside out. I have built myself back up time and time again. You cannot tell me who I am. So that is truly what these elevations are about. This is the purpose of them. It's not in vain, I promise. But as long as you're getting something out of it, that's why I try to, in the process, I said, just sit with it, which is the hardest thing when you're uncomfortable and you're in survival mode and you're just no, I need to do something. But God is always on time. And by on time, I'm learning that on time is right in the nick of time, right before shit really gets bad, before you're just oh well, I'm never coming back from this. That's when stuff really starts changing. So you literally have to wait it out to the very end. Because I was over here preparing. I was just I had this whole plan set for myself. I was I'm going to get this degree. I'm going to acquire a new skill so that way I can get a higher paying job and then be able to fund what I really want to do with it, which is this, and speak my experiences and teach other people and, just give advice on life in general of other people that may be younger than me, or even people older than me that don't know the stuff that I know, or just have not been able to make those connections, or or see the patterns in life and apply them like I have. And I just felt like it wasn't working. I felt like it was taking so long. I felt like it was a waste of time. And I was about to quit all of it. And I was just like, I'm gonna go be a stripper. Not saying that that's like to say it in like a derogatory manner, but I was just like, I felt like my education or my mind wasn't being valued. So I was like, you know what? I give in. This world wins. I'm a pretty attractive woman, and I feel like I could get paid for my face. I could get paid for it. I'm young. I have a decent body. I take care of myself. So I was like, I could probably make more money there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go there and I'm gonna do that. And y'all, I got like my dancer's license and all of that before I left. I was taking pole dancing classes when I was on the West Coast. Like, I was 100% prepared to make it do what it do when I got back. And now it turns out that I don't even have to do all that. But it also kind of pissed me off because I did like spend money that I didn't necessarily have at the time to prepare for something just in case. So if I had just waited, I probably would have had like a little bit more, more funds to use while I was out there versus me spending unnecessary money on stuff that I didn't need to do. But yeah, and also it's another thing. I probably would have ended up going to the club and get my shit rocked because maybe that's something that I wasn't ready for or necessarily didn't need to experience. So, but that's a different, conversation for a different day. But yeah, so if you are going through this or know somebody who's going through this, send them this video, tag them in it, and let them know it gets better. Show love in the comments, show love to them, support them. Most times there's nothing really that you can do for them, but you can definitely maybe be that safe place and that support system to let them know that they are not alone and that there are other people going through the same thing, and also having an explanation for what's going on and why it's happening, and knowing that there is something good like waiting for you on the other side usually gives you the motivation to keep going. So yeah, that is that. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, comment, share. And also you can follow me on Instagram. It's leah.t.v. Twitter is leahtv with 2 underscores. And TikTok is Leah the Vibe with 2 E's. So yeah, I haven't got around to changing my TikTok. Everything's supposed to be Leah TV, but TikTok is a little weird, but whatever. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. I may upload another video today, I might not. But either way, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.